Vale. Cogemos asiento, por favor. Buenos días a todos. Vale. 24 de febrero, hoy se hace realidad un sueño, que es la primera edición del evento TID-x. Es algo que empezamos a comentar o a hablar allá por marzo de este año. ¿Cuánta gente ha venido que no haya trabajado o trabaje o piensa trabajar en Telefónica o Telefónica I+D? Es decir, que se ha apuntado a través de la web de la Campus, de Campus Madrid. ¡Wow! 50 apuntados había, perfecto. Con lo cual no tengo que explicar qué era esto de la TEFConf, que todo el mundo lo conocéis. Tampoco tengo que hablar de lo que fue la desvinculación voluntaria del año pasado, que todo el mundo lo conocéis. Estupendo, porque así que vamos un poquito mal de tiempo ya, puedo ir más rápido. Vale, pues un poquito el objetivo que teníamos en marzo era el continuar con lo que había sido la TEFCON los últimos 5 años, que, bueno, por lo menos para mí era un evento muy especial, en el que aprovechábamos a ver a mucha gente, que solo veíamos una vez al año, en el que aprendíamos mucho, y con ese espíritu de seguir compartiendo, o al menos intentar vernos una vez al año, surgió TID-x. Guido creo que me comentó lo que significaba TID. ¿Dónde estás, Guido? ¿Cuál era el acrónimo de TID, que no me acuerdo? Sí, era Ideas, Development y la T, no recuerdo qué era, pero bueno. Bueno, pues TID-x. Y realmente para mí un poquito el mantra o el lema, lo que desde mi punto de vista era muy importante, era el seguir sintiendo que seguimos perteneciendo a un mismo conjunto de personas, ¿vale? Y que de alguna forma encontré una frase muy bonita, bueno, que me gustó mucho, que era el seguimos siendo el mismo equipo, aunque en compañías diferentes, ¿vale? Que, bueno, desafortunadamente o no, no es mía la frase, sino que la encontré un día por internet a Kelsey Hightower y, bueno, me pareció muy buena idea como lema para las conferencias. Vale, aquí había puesto un poco el calendario de cómo se ha ido gestando el evento desde marzo, en agosto, que mandamos el primer email de, oye, aquello que hablamos en marzo podría estar bien hacerlo. Y de repente lanzamos un pool, un Google Forms, algo muy sencillito de, oye, ¿quién se apuntaría a esto? Hicimos algo así como 3 iteraciones, que si lo haríamos en un sitio, en otro, un día, 4 días, entre semana, el fin de semana. Bueno, pues al final llegamos en que sería aquí en Madrid, en octubre. Se hizo el primer commit a lo que luego acaba siendo tidx.com. En noviembre, Gerardo, que no sé si estás por aquí, compró el dominio por €1, aprovechando el Black Friday. En diciembre fue un momento súper importante para nosotros, que fue conseguir el dónde íbamos a hacer el evento. Llegó un momento en que teníamos personas, empezábamos a tener propuestas de charlas, pero no teníamos dónde ir. Y empezaba a ser un poquito preocupante, y justo el día antes de irnos de vacaciones de Navidad conseguimos, bueno, que nos aprobaran el venir aquí, con lo cual muchas gracias a Campus Madrid. Y en enero de 2018 ya cerramos la agenda definitiva, que hemos tenido un pequeño cambio de última hora que ahora os comentaré. ¿Vale? Y bueno, hoy ya que estamos aquí todos, y muchas gracias a todos por haber venido. Sai, que viene de Israel, toda Gabá, for coming to Madrid. Y bueno, muchísima gente que viene de fuera también, Rafa, Tomek, bueno, mucha gente. Así que muchas gracias por hacer el esfuerzo. Sergi, que viene de Berlín. Vale, quería también agradecer a la gente que nos ha ayudado en todo este camino. Seguro que me olvido a alguien, pero Rafa, que nos ha ayudado con el diseño. ¿Está Rafa? Bueno, le he hecho unas pegatinas también para él. Guido, que nos ha ayudado con todos los pull requests que han venido de todos los asistentes, de movilizar un poquito a la gente en Buecillo. Gerardo, Rubén, gracias por todo el esfuerzo de ayer, del social event. y por supuesto Gustavo, que está ahí programando. Vale, la agenda. La agenda es bastante apretada. Bueno, tengo aquí la hora, pero bueno, seguro que ya vamos justitos de tiempo. Teníamos como keynote a Carlos Domingo. Ayer me escribió que por un problema de última hora le era imposible venir a Madrid. Me ha mandado un vídeo que acabo de descargar hace unos minutos y que ahora os pondré porque tenía ganas de saludaros y de hacer una breve introducción de lo que quería haber comentado en la keynote. Vale. Tendremos una pausa de café. La keynote, adelantamos un poquito las otras charlas, que el primer track vamos a hablar de arquitecturas de backend, que hablarán Rubén, Sergi y Javier. Luego tendremos la pausa de café, que creo que es a las 11 y media. Bueno, está en la agenda. Vale. Para el café hemos pedido a un 11 y media. Vale. Un catering que nos va a traer aquí el café y así no nos hace falta salir y en media horita lo tenemos apañado. ¿Vale? Tenemos también agua y pastas que Gustavo compró ayer. ¿El qué? De la ahorra más. Vale. Y luego tendremos una pausa de comida que es a la 1:30. Tenemos una hora para comer. Nuestra propuesta era, somos mucha gente, igual ir por aquí a llenar los restaurantes es un poquito complicado. Quien quiera apuntarse, pues pedir pizzas y las podemos comer ahí arriba. ¿Vale? Así que luego en la pausa de café podemos hacer una recolecta de quien quiera coger pizzas, pues que vaya Gustavo a mí y llamamos y pedimos algo. ¿Vale? Y quien quiera ir fuera, pues tendremos una hora para comer. Vale, ahora, el bote, intenté ayer buscar la hucha más fea y que se pareciera un poquito al programa de Jordi Évole y encontré este cerdo. Hemos tenido ciertos gastos, limpieza, un poquito de merchandising que hemos hecho de pegatinas y de un pequeño recuerdo para los speakers, el café y ya está, ¿vale? Entonces, pues un poquito la idea es que ni Gustavo ni yo palmemos una cantidad de pasta, ¿vale? Entonces, lo había mandado ya Gustavo por Telegram. La idea que habíamos pensado para también agradecer a toda la gente que ha venido de fuera, pues que no tenga que poner un pequeño bote para pagar estos pequeños gastos, pues si os parece bien, que la gente de Madrid ponga, creo que al final eran unos 450 euros lo que hemos pagado, ¿sí? Habíamos calculado que serían unas 40 personas de aquí de Madrid. Si tenéis a bien poner 10 euritos, os voy a poner lo que dijo en su momento ya la faraona.
A la curranta. Pienso si una peseta diera cada español. Pero no a mí, a donde tienen que darla. Quizás salía de la deuda. Y después yo, no sé, me iría al estadio con todo lo que han dado esa peseta o esas 100 pesetas para tomarme una copa con ellos y llorar a alegría.
Bueno, pues más o menos la idea era esa, pensando que ya la cerveza la tomamos ayer, que no nos iremos a un estadio a tomar una copa. Que por cierto, en plan un poquito de la hucha, tenemos una caja transparente allí, parecida a las que se utilizan a veces en las votaciones. Vale, pues allí al lado de donde estará el café o donde está el agua. Vale. Hay wifi aquí. Os recomiendo que estemos atentos a las charlas más que a la wifi. De hecho, no sé si está por ahí la transparencia que habíamos preparado, pero si no, os la pongo un momento. Vale, aquí tenéis el identificador de la Wi-Fi, Campus Community Fast, y el password Tetuan Valley. ¿Qué más cositas? A nivel de logística, debemos utilizar los baños que tenemos aquí dentro, en el auditorio, arriba, bueno, como siempre, al fondo a la derecha. ¿Sí, no? Vale, las puertas, efectivamente, hay 3 puertas en el edificio, pero siempre deberíamos de salir, bueno, siempre tenemos que salir por donde hemos entrado, ¿vale? Que es, bueno, donde está el chico de seguridad. Y el tema de las pegatinas también, ¿verdad? Arriba tenemos unas pegatinas en las que todos os debéis poner el nombre y ponerlo por aquí, ¿vale? Para que el chico de seguridad vea quiénes pertenecemos al evento y que no haya entrado alguien por ahí que no está aquí con nosotros y esté por ahí dando vueltas en el edificio. Vale, pues siguiente, queda inaugurada la TID-x, primera edición. Y os paso el vídeo de Carlos Domingo que he recibido esta mañana. Que por cierto... Voy a ver si hay suerte.
Hola, buenos días. Good morning, everyone. First, apologies for not being there in person. I was supposed to be opening the TIDx event, which was going to be a privilege for me to be able to be back with all you guys there. But unfortunately, the last minute thing with the family made me stay here in Dubai for the weekend. So unfortunately, I'm actually flying to Spain tomorrow to Barcelona for Mobile World Congress, but I couldn't fly 2 days ago to Madrid to be with you today. So it's really a pity because I was really looking forward for the event. I think first it's a great idea, so I want to congratulate the organizers for coming up with the idea of bringing together, the great team that we worked together during that very, let's say, exciting and hectic time in Telefonica and Telefonica R&D. And I would love to attend next year if this becomes a tradition, which I hope it does. I was going to tell you in my talk, which unfortunately I will not be able to do, a little bit about what I'm doing now and how I decided to change career. To be honest with you, I was a bit bored after 10 years from the telco industry. I think we did a lot of great things back then, but I somehow felt that we kept repeating the same things and kind of got frustrated a little bit also about the lack of ability of the telcos of being relevant in the digital world. So I was looking for something else to do, and what was going to be my next career move. When actually a year from now at Mobile World Congress, actually, I met someone that you guys, many of you know, who is Brendan Ike. He's the founder of Mozilla, and we worked with him very closely when we did the Firefox OS project back in 2012 and so. And then since then, he actually left Mozilla as well, and but we stay in touch and meet regularly at Mobile World Congress every year. And he basically, in February when I met him this year, he told me about this new, browser company he was building called Brave, and how he basically wanted to disintermediate how advertisers, content providers, and customers with their attention, they interacted on the internet and change the rules of the game. And for that, the way he wanted to do is by having a kind of like a wallet on the browser that distributes the money in a different way, dynamically, between the content providers, the advertisers, and the consumer actually, consuming content and consuming advertising. And to implement this, originally had the idea of doing it with Bitcoin 2 years ago, but then, last year in February when I met him, he told me, look, there's a better way. There's this new blockchain called Ethereum. You can issue tokens that have specific utility within your platform or application. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue a token, and then these tokens you can actually crowdfund it on the internet and raise money. And in February last year, when he was basically describing an ICO, an initial coin offering, which now everyone is talking about, but a year ago was nothing. No one knew about it. It was the first time I actually heard about it, and I felt that I was not really understanding what he was saying. I had been working on blockchain more or less for the last 2 years, and I didn't understand why people were so excited about blockchain, because what we were doing were pilots to basically do enterprise blockchain. So blockchains as a distributed platform and a distributed ledger that you can then do things like electronic health records, where many people need to exchange the same records, and you need to keep track of who has them or not. So blockchain is actually a great way of implementing those situations where there's a lot of different heterogeneous, let's say, entities that need to cooperate with themselves without necessarily trusting each other. So, and without instead of building it in a centralized way, you can build it on a decentralized way, and it works very well. But it's kind of like an IT efficiency thing. So everyone was telling me, blockchain is going to change the world. This is the new internet, and I didn't really get it. So anyway, I met Brendan, and then he told me about his ICO and his token for his company. And then I came back to Dubai in March, and then I saw the news that in TechCrunch everywhere, Brendan Eich, Mozilla founder, raises $35 million in 30 seconds. I was like, wow, that's something. I definitely missed something of the conversation with Brendan. Let me call him again. So I called him again, had a Skype with him, and he was so excited. He just could not believe what had happened, that he has raised this money on the internet through crowdfunding, issuing the token, and that he's got so much attention for it. So it was the first high-profile ICO that happened in 2017. So he was like, "Oh, you need to move here. You need to, get into Ethereum tokens. This is the hot thing now. This is the future." And somehow at that time, then I understood exactly what was happening. So, the public blockchains and things like Bitcoin or Ethereum, they're basically a new kind of internet where they're adding a protocol that was missing so far, which is the ability to change, to interchange in a peer-to-peer and decentralized way value on the internet, right? Like the same way you can do VoIP, or you can do HTTP, or you can do FTP, which these are, internet protocols that allow you to move files or voice or other things on the internet. The way to move value, the same way that, when I take $1 bill, I give it to you $1 bill, and it changes hands without actually having a bank in between. Or I take a book and I give it to you, and the book changes hands, and I give you the ownership of the book back to you. This ability to interchange ownership or value on the internet without a centralized platform was not actually existing. And this is the interesting thing. This is what's very revolutionary. This is the new internet of value that can allow us, to do many, many things and change a lot of things the way that we know them. And fundraising is just one of the first examples. So I got very excited about it. I decided that I wanted to be there. Started studying more, getting more into the space, seeing what type of projects I could do. And then, another guy that some of you actually know as well, Ami Ben David. He's the founder of Everything.me. We invested back then when I was in Telefonica Digital, and it was the actual application we used for Firefox OS for the for the homepage. Then he was, he was going to set up a venture capital fund, and we started discussing about what Brendan had done, and decided that we were going to do it, but we were going to do it to invest in tokens and ICOs and this new asset class of, crypto that no one was investing, especially the traditional VCs. And then the next thing that happened is, okay, so if tokenizing a company makes sense and investing in ICOs makes sense, then why not tokenizing the fund and then issue a token instead of issuing shares? That the token represents the economic interest on the fund, and then you have the smart contract that basically controls how these tokens are traded, how the money gets distributed back to the token holders through crypto, etc., etc. So there's lots of advantages of doing it this way. And not to mention a huge cost savings in how you actually deal with lots of token holders. And then we basically wanted to issue the token for Spice for our fund, and realized that there was no one actually doing this back then. There's only one company had done an ICO for this type of tokens, which are securities, so they're not a utility within anywhere, but basically, so it's like an investment that you do, and therefore you need to follow the security laws in every jurisdiction where you're selling this. And that implies a lot of things, like doing KYC, doing AML, doing accreditation process, making sure the smart contract tracks the secondary market, so you know who the token holders are and keep them always within the regulatory framework. So there's a bunch of things that you need to build to do this. So since we couldn't find anyone that was actually going to do this, we decided to then hire engineers and build it ourselves, right? So that's what we all do, build things. So we started hiring, we hired a CTO, we hired a bunch of engineers, and I started building this platform to issue security tokens for our own fund, for Spice. And then when, in October, I announced this to the public that I was doing this project, and this is the platform that you need to use, and posted some screenshots and, some, explanation about how the platform was working, then we started getting a bunch of people contacting me saying, "Oh, you guys, this is very cool. I also want to issue security tokens. I think this is the future of the ICOs, and there's no one actually doing it, and there's no platform there. So can we actually partner with you guys to do it?" So at some point at the end of last year, I realized this is going to be a bigger business even than the fund. The fund is going to be great and it's doing very well, but there's another business here that I need to take the opportunity to go after. So I contacted another person that some of you know, Jamie Finn. He had been discussing with me about Spice and had invested on it. with his partner Tim Reinders, and when I told them about the platform opportunity, they got very excited, so they decided to leave their jobs and basically come and work on full-time for this platform project. The company is called Securitize. We launched it in the North American Bitcoin conference in Miami in January this year. We already have lots of customers. Believe it or not, this is one of the first one startup that starts with customers and revenue and real things. It's going very well. We've already hired 15 people in 3 weeks, and we're gonna hire a lot more because the business is booming. There's no one in the market at the moment, doing what we do, and there's a huge demand. So we're not even selling. Like, people are coming to us to ask for the opportunity to work with us, which is a great place to be. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. It's very exciting. I'm working and traveling more than I've done it in a long time, but I'm having much more fun. And I think that's the important thing. I'm learning a lot as well. So intellectually, I'm very motivated because every day something new is happening in this industry. Some new idea is coming up. So some new startup. So this is a great place to be. It feels a lot like the internet in 1996, 1998 when I started my career. So it's very exciting. If you guys look for opportunities, I think you should be looking at crypto. This is where the next 10 years I feel the biggest innovations and biggest changes are going to happen. And there's a lot of things that are yet to be done, and I think it's an industry that deserves a lot of good developers and senior people like most of you to actually come and do things in a proper way, because at the same time, being a new industry, everything is very immature in terms of technology development, platforms, and everything. So anyway, sorry again for missing being there in person with you guys. I would have loved to do it, but unfortunately, as I said, the family kept me here in Dubai. So hopefully next year I'll be with all you, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun during the event. Thank you. Bye.
Vale, pues muchas gracias, Carlos. Perfecto, pues volvemos al timing que teníamos inicialmente, que era que Rubén iba a dar la primera charla a las 10. La idea es que tenemos media hora para cada charla. Aquí tendremos un timer para cada una de las charlas y, bueno, pues os lo voy a poner a los speakers a 25 minutos, contando que luego os pasaréis un poquito seguramente, y tenemos 2 o 3 minutos para presentar al siguiente speaker y hacer el cambio de micro. Rubén, gracias.